We've got some.
Hey, I'm Luis.
And I'm Luis.
And you're listening to the Content is Profit podcast.
We spent the last 4 years learning the strategies and techniques from some of the top marketers in the world on how to create content that turns into profit. And today, we're bringing them to you so you can take action immediately and start creating real content momentum.
If you'd like to learn more about how to turn your content into profit, go to contentisprofit.com. Oh, yeah. Yeah, another Monday, another epic guest. I hope you have your scuba equipment at hand because we are going to dive deep into relationship building.
That is right, baby. Today's guest is the relationship manager for Clickfunnels, a company that has been built in part through having incredible relationships with their customers who end up promoting the product as well.
That's right. And you can tell he's extremely passionate about building relationships. Not too long after we met, he actually sent us a box full of incredible swag. Now he joined us to share with you how to ethically build relationships to improve your business.
Let's get this party started. Please welcome Clickfunnels relationship manager, soon to be father, and our new amigo, Turner Leslie. Let's go.
What's up, guys? Good to be with you.
This is so exciting.
Oh man, we're matching. We're matching the same hats, man. What are the chances?
Aren't those like the cleanest hats you've ever seen?
I love it.
They're pretty epic.
I love it.
I mean, I'm telling you, you even got the snap here, the size right. Like it was literally out of the box to the head, perfect fix. I mean, if some other company can do that out there, can they really? I doubt it, man.
They're too late, bro.
Yeah,
they're too late.
Yeah.
Turner got us. By the way, Turner, it's a pleasure having you, man. Like we connected what was it, like a month ago or so, and it has been incredible. You know, following in your group, what you do, how you guys do it, and we're honored to have you here. Share all the secrets. You know, let's put it on Clickfunnels and Russell's terms, like all the secrets. With that, Turner, what's your story? You know, tell us a little bit about you for those who don't know you yet.
Yeah, for sure. So I live here in Idaho, pretty close to the Clickfunnels headquarters. It's about it's opposite. It's about 5 miles that way. And yeah, it's pretty awesome. So I'll go as far back as college. So I went to BYU, Idaho. If you've ever heard of that, it's in Rexburg, Idaho. I wanted to go there and get a degree. That's what I wanted real bad. And my wife, we moved down there. And Rexburg, Idaho, it's not a place you'd visit. It's not the coolest place ever. Actually, it is very cool. It is freezing there most of the year. So my wife was like, "Okay, you better graduate quick. Let's get out of here." So I graduated in about 2.5 years, almost 3 years, and just had a blast. I went to school for public relations with an emphasis in marketing as well.
Yeah.
And just had a blast at college. I actually worked as the kind of like an admissions advisor as well, which is super cool. I just got to know a bunch of awesome people. But in my degree as well, it was a lot of entrepreneurial stuff. So for my senior project, I had to come out with some kind of organization or company, if you will. And for some reason in college, I just got totally obsessed with fitness and that whole world. It was awesome. I got healthier and it just was a good use of my time. So I came out with my business. It was called Turner Get Fit.
Yes.
I don't know where that name came from, but it just came and it stuck. And for my business, I did some kind of like virtual training, I guess. And I was training probably at one point, probably 15 to 20 people while being newly married, while having a job, while taking on 16 to 17 credits this semester. And it was just kind of crazy, but it was good. It kept me busy.
Yeah.
And in that time, I built my business up and didn't know what I was doing. I just wanted to help a lot of people and help people to lose a ton of weight, which worked out great. I actually, the platform that I use to send out my trainings is called Marco Polo. I don't know if you've heard of that app.
No.
But it's cool. It's kind of like a video messaging platform to where you can send out your video. They can see it kind of like in real time. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, cool.
But they've changed the settings to where you can't do as much as you could back in the day. But it was cool. But yeah, totally built up. Built my own logo. Came out with my own training programs, and just it was all organic stuff, which was nice because I was a poor college student and didn't have a ton of money. My wife was kind of supporting us at the time. I just had like a small job on the side. So that was really cool. I ended up acing my senior project, and it was awesome. I totally blew it out of the water. And then during that time, my brother actually got a job with this crazy company called Clickfunnels. I had no idea what it was. My brother is Jake Leslie. He is the graphic designer for Russell Brunson. So a lot of the awesome funnels that Russell has, my brother has a big part in that. In design.
Awesome.
And so I saw what my brother was doing, and I was like, after I graduate, that is the one place I want to work for, and that's it. I don't want nothing else. I just want that job. So
wow.
I don't recommend that to other college students, but have a good net that you can fling out into the ocean, if you will. But yeah, so I got in touch with a few people at ClickFunnels, and after I graduated, I interviewed for a job position called the relationship manager, and I did not get that job at the start, which I was like kind of bummed. But I got offered a different job, kind of support as well as the retention team. Yeah, and that was cool. I did that job for probably like 2 months, and then I got offered to open up the onboarding team. Started that with like 3 other guys, and then we grew that to about 12 to 15 people at one point.
Cool.
And just totally took that by storm. I think we generated about $1 million in a year. And wow. We helped out a ton of ClickFunnels users, and it was just fantastic. Fast forwarding probably about 1.5 years, I got a message from one of our partners of ClickFunnels. His name is Brent Copeters. He is an absolute stud, just a great guy. And we met. He pulled me in kind of for a job interview, and he said, "Hey, we're having this position opening up. It's called the relationship manager position. Just kind of want to fill it out with you, see if you'd be interested." And they interviewed me, and it was awesome. It was like a perfect fit, perfect timing for that. And they interviewed me, and they said, "Well, we definitely want to go with you. We had a few other people we were going to interview, but we're going to kind of cancel that, and we want you to take on the position." So it was super cool. Man, it's a true testimony that I wasn't ready for this position at the time years ago. As I worked super hard and learned more about funnels and building funnels and helping people, now I'm ready for this position. So what I do as relationship manager, I work alongside Miles Clifford, who is one of the best people on this earth and the funniest person on the earth. But we help out our affiliates to progress. He has about 60 platinum affiliates, and I have about 60 as well, who you guys are on that list.
Let's go.
We'll talk about that, I'm sure. But yeah, I have the best job ever. I get to build relationships with amazing people, and it's a blast. So I probably given you more than you wanted, but that
was incredible.
That's perfect. That's perfect, man. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Man, props to your wife too for holding the fort there where you were at college working in, and I'm surprised that you graduated in 2.5, 3 years. That is extremely fast. It took me double the time to graduate from college. Sorry, I say high school, from college.
Did you graduate?
Yes, I did
Okay,
graduate.
good.
Yes, I did graduate. I went back a second time, and that time I was like, no, enough school for me. I'm gonna go do my own thing. But I love it. I love the story. I love that you went to school for PR marketing, and then kind of like full circle. Now you're in this, relationship manager position, which I love how you put it. I wasn't ready at first. You had to, grow within the company probably and personally as well to be able to fulfill that position. So congratulations to you, man. It's amazing to hear that.
One of the things that got my attention, I was also involved in a lot of college life, I guess, when I was at UNF here in Florida, but never interacted with the type of places that you were in. You were like always like in contact of new people all around, right? Like I was like maybe I was in the ropes course, or in the climbing wall, this kind of stuff, but you were like literally in contact with people that needed to create these relationships with for college, and helping them through that journey, which I feel is super important, right? And then you translated that into obviously entrepreneurship and serving, and you had this passion that you followed, and those are traits that we explore a lot in the show. But also after that, you found this one company, right? And so many of us, like for example, I remember after college, I'm like, I am not working for anybody. Like I am gonna go and be this entrepreneur thingy, right? And I had no idea what I was doing. And then I found, because my wife was going and getting her doctorate, the commitment was, I'm gonna go have to find a job until like we switch roles, or like something happens, right? And I have found a company here in town that it helped me in like my first 3 years, that it was incredible, like personal growth, sales side of things, like a lot of stuff, and it gave us so much, right? And now you're following your passion within that company, right? And you're helping people, and you're generating and creating impact, right? So what was that resonated so much with you that you didn't see any options, right? Because here's why I ask this question. Sometimes we're so blinded as entrepreneurs, right? And it's like the one thing that we want to create because we don't see it elsewhere, right? But then there's options out there that might help us get to the next level, right? And then when we're ready, the opportunity will open up, like it did to you inside of the company, or like it did to us when we transitioned full-time with BIZBROS, right? And so what was that element, that thing that like called you to serve at a higher level with a company that resonates with you?
Man, a bunch of thoughts just flew into my brain on this. So when I was at school, I would come back home and visit my brother, and I would go visit Clickfunnels, and I just got like this crazy awesome feeling there, kind of like a home feeling. I don't know what it was, but just to like shake Russell Brunson's hand and shake Dave Woodward's hand, and to see the feel that was there. And I remember the first time that I was there, I saw Russell and Dave, and they didn't have shoes on at work. They were just walking around, and these are cool guys. Like they just are doing what they love to do and are super comfortable. And I really like that, because I was like, man, this is a good place. I don't feel like I'll be judged here. And it's just awesome. And I thought that was one thing. And then another thing, I did a lot of research on Clickfunnels. Something that was crazy is I felt this sense that everyone loved the community, and that continues to flow in my brain every day, right? I heard this quote yesterday: people come for the product and stay for the community. In ClickFunnels, I think that rings true every day. And just Russell Brunson in general is just an amazing guy. I mean, I just feel like if I was to take one person to war, it'd be him, because I feel like he could lead a whole army of people, and he does, obviously. But people just follow in his footsteps. And in this job that I'm in, I feel like I'm just not necessarily safe, because I feel like, yes, safe, but just a sense of, man, I can just keep on going up. And someone told me yesterday, they're like, wow, Clickfunnels was your first job out of college? They're like, you made it. I was like, I'm thinking it, right? Because like, I feel like Clickfunnels in the marketing world is like Russell Brunson being Tom Brady in the NFL, right? But if I feel like I'm on Russell's team, life is good. So
yeah, absolutely. it's great to have those those people around you, man, that they push you to grow. And I love how you said, like, I have this job, and you feel safe, but you still see the room for growth, right? Because that's important. Like, nobody wants to stay stagnated in one place for too long, right? And something that I wanted to share is that we are barefooted as well. Coincidence much? I don't know. But
I remember one of the things that Fonzie was mentioning. You know, we had this office. We moved. We transitioned the studio into the new place. That's like an hour away from the other office. Anyways, crazy story. But it's like, man, you know what I'm excited about? That I'm not gonna be able. I don't want to wear shoes, and I'm like, sounds good, man. Just like make sure that the smells doesn't that they don't come out.
Yeah, you gotta. I believe in earthing and all that stuff, so it's good to be barefooted outside in grass, and I'm kind of happy in that sense. But Turner, I'm super curious to dive a little bit into the relationship aspect of things, right? Because quick kind of like lightning story here, but a huge part of our show and our business has been developing relationships, right? At first, when we had no clarity on what we were doing, it was just a struggle. We were doing many things, zero focus, no content whatsoever, no podcast, and we were just like literally struggling everywhere. When we started the podcast, we had already clarity in what was the service we're offering. But the podcast became this platform to build incredible relationships, right? Just like this one right now with you, Turner. So like that just took the business to a whole different level, because now, we're either finding dream clients from this platform or dream partnerships, right? Or connecting with people that we've never would have had the opportunity to meet otherwise. So I know ClickFunnels is huge in relationships. They have a huge affiliate program, right? They want the people to become, like you just mentioned, you want them to become so close to ClickFunnels that they are the first one to be screaming from the top of their lungs, go get ClickFunnels, right? And people do, which is the incredible thing, right? We went to Funnel Hacking Live for the first time last year, and our mind was blown. It was such a good experience. Yeah. And the best thing is that feeling of, I'm home, right? It's like, what you mentioned inside of the ClickFunnels headquarters, you see that in the Funnel Hacking Live event. So I'm curious, how do you see relationships play, right? And how do you go and find these relationships? And I want to add a little, maybe like spice to this question, because maybe we have people on the other side listening and asking themselves like, oh, but it's easy for ClickFunnels because they have such a big following, or they have so much clout around them, right? I'm using those words now, look at me. But how does a smaller business can do it as well? How can they build these relationships that is going to take their business to the next level?
Yeah, and I like that you added that spice, right? So this is interesting because when I came into this position, a really cool guy that had my position before, his name was Ben. Ben was a super cool guy. But when I came in, I was just Turner, right? People didn't really know me. I was just kind of like this young kid. And I needed to build up that relationship with other people because why would they listen to me if I was just this new guy coming into this position? And so I wanted to build off relationships right from the start. So a big thing that I needed to do was make myself known and help people to know who I was. So I started, I don't know if you want to call it, well, kind of like a little segment on Tuesdays called Turner Tuesdays. And I started this in the ClickFunnels Avengers page. What I started to do was kind of show people the ClickFunnels headquarters, and I did like kind of tours, and I just showed them fun stuff and helped them know who I was. And I brought people on that show as well, like brought them on the Facebook Live stuff. So I just brought them into my world. This is my office. This is what I see every day. Look, there's Russell Brunson's office, or this is what I'm eating today. I don't know, whatever it was. So what I tried to do is I tried to get them into my world as well as find common ground with them as well. The biggest thing with relationships is you gotta find common ground. Okay. And that helps me out a ton. My wife would tell you that I'm like relationships and talking to people. That's my thing. It's not really her thing. She has her amazing skills and things I could compliment her on all day. But she would say, yeah, Turner, he just wants to talk to people and build relationships like crazy.
I think we're gonna become best friends and our wives are gonna become best friends because same situation. You know, Katie, wonderful. You know, but when it comes to this, she's like, "You do it. Go ahead. I'm gonna go sit over there and chill."
Exactly. I think that's a good skill. That if that's the only skill that we have, we should hold on to it forever, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, for sure. Like, if you are maybe a smaller business or a smaller, maybe a podcast, whatever you're doing. Find people within your niche, find common ground, and run with it and be yourself. People will be able to know if you're not being yourself right from the start. Yep. But man, that common ground is huge. And then another thing I would say is constant contact as well. I've got a good friend. His name is Christopher Voss. He's Mr. ROR, if you've heard of him. But he'll send me a text every Monday, just seeing how I am. He's just a good friend. And I try to do that with my affiliates as well, kind of like send messages, things like that. But just help people to know that you're there is a big thing.
Yeah.
So that answer.
I love that. No, thank you. Thank you for sharing, man. And I love the constant contact point right there, because I think a lot of, and I'm going to relate this a little bit to like sales, right? Like the sale is in the follow-up. I think the strong relationship is in the follow-up too, right? Like you need to keep bringing value to people's life. And I think that's where people miss the point a lot. What is it? How do you keep tabs on these relationships? And by tabs, I mean like, I haven't reached out to this person in a very long time. What are they doing? Because I'm sure that it gets to a point where now probably hundreds of people that you want to keep, building a relationship with. And I mean, some eventually might fly under the radar or be like, oh man, I totally forgot about this person, right? I mean, we are on episode 166 right now, right? We've had over 140 guests in the podcast. And not gonna lie, sometimes we're like, oh man, we should reach out to this person. I totally forgot, right? That we have their contact and whatnot. So how do you keep proactively building these relationships and kind of like not forgetting people?
Yeah. I want to answer this in two ways. Now you said it's kind of like sales. Now with sales, in my opinion, if you only sell that person one time, you failed, right? Mm-hmm. And with sales, I feel that if that person buys from you, they trust from you. Hopefully you build that trust, and hopefully you can sell them multiple times. Russell Brunson has sold a product to someone multiple times, and he's also sold many products multiple times because they trust him like crazy, right? And they get what he's saying. So I think that's huge. And then that goes to the constant contact as well. So I have 66 platinum affiliates. And what I did is this is obviously my full-time job. So I've broken up my platinum affiliates into 5 days, and 5 days of the week. And I just divided them. I think I have, 15 people a day. And then I just send them a message. We got this event coming up in 18 days. Come and visit. Hope to see you guys there. Yeah. And then I'll say something like, hey, I know that you guys live in Florida. I hope the weather's going good, or just like little things, because you don't want to be like nosy or annoying. But get to know that person before you say too much or too little, because they'll either love you or think, this guy's kind of weird. But get to know them first, and then you'll kind of be able to feel that constant contact as you go. Because some of my platinum affiliates, they like me to reach out to them once a month. Some might like to reach out maybe like once a week, every 2 weeks. So kind of fill it out. But the best situation is the one that you want to talk to often, but not too much.
Yeah, Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I love it because I mean it does apply to what we do. I mean in the workshop there was a whole section that we talked about the relationship aspect after the show, before the show, during the show. Like I mean it is what it is, and honestly what we're building is long-term relationships, right? Is business going to come? Probably, right? Is business going to come? If it doesn't, that's fine too, because we now have somebody that we trust in somewhere in the world, and they have somebody that they trust here in Florida, right? So, by the way, if you want to come to Florida, that sounds good. We're here for you, right? And I will give you a quick tour. But that's the thing, right? There's always something, and we put on the headline like ethically, right? Because this, I feel like lately the word relationship has been thrown around a lot, like in this publishing aspect. And then people might interpret it in the wrong way, right? It's like I'm building this relationship for the sole purpose of business, right? Business is probably a consequence of that relationship if it's fostered correctly, right? And it's totally okay to approach it that way, but at the same time, it doesn't always result in business, and that's still okay. And that relationship deserves the honor of both parties having to develop that relationship, even if it doesn't end in business, right? So have you encountered along your career, like you could go from the college side of things to now in Clickfunnels, where there's some friction, right? Because maybe somebody thought that the relationship was going to go one way, and then it didn't end up going that way. Have you encountered that kind of friction? And if you did, how does somebody manage that?
I would say not exactly like friction, but for instance, well, this is like a situation where I was able to just get to know that person a little bit more and kind of see what they wanted. So I have a really awesome affiliate. It's super cool. I actually sent a cool gift to them, and it was super cool. She got it. It was awesome. And then I was sent her a few messages and stuff like that. And I hadn't heard back too much, and it took probably a few weeks, and she got back to me and was like, "Oh, thanks so much for the mug. I appreciate it." And so make sure that the thing that I learned was like, okay, this is my job to reach out to people. And so if I don't hear from someone in maybe like 2 or 3 weeks, just know that they're probably way busy and not thinking about this as much. So that kind of like that Dream 100 aspect, once again, just like knowing the person, seeing what they're going through, or going like with their business and stuff. And like with relationships, you may not always get everything that you're putting into it back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And so I think that's a big thing as well, in life, right? If you're giving 100% and the other person isn't, that's okay, because their 100% might be your 75 or your 50. And so I would say still just get to know the person. But I would say if you ever get friction in any relationship, don't let it kill you. Just give it some time, because you never know what that person is going through in their life. Because they may have had a horrible day, or whatever. But just give it some time and just help them to know that you love them, and something good will come out of it a little bit later on. And always stay as positive as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you made a great point there with, if you give 100% and don't receive the same amount right back, like, don't worry about it. Like that is one of the biggest things I've seen is people go on like, oh, if I give them this, then they have to give something back. Right. And it's like, no, you should be giving without any sorts of expectations, just because you truly want to develop that relationship. And if it's not reciprocated at the same level, guess what? It's totally okay. Like, if you truly want that relationship, you're probably gonna keep trying to build it, right? Obviously, it gets a point maybe that you're like, okay, well, maybe the other person doesn't really want to have a certain relationship with me. I'm that's fine. I can go somewhere else. But it is so important to just be yourself and do it without any sorts of expectations, like trying to get anything back. And I think that's where we talk about ethically, and I think that's where there's a lot of friction sometimes, because people are like, oh, maybe I do want to build a true, honest relationship with this person, but at the same time, I want them as clients. And then it's like, oh my gosh, like, how am I going to do that? What is that bridge in there? Guess what? That bridge is a true, honest relationship, right? A value-driven relationship where you're giving value to the other person. And when they're ready to work with you, guess what? It's going to happen. You're going to be top of mind for them. They're going to value what you've done for them. And they're going to look at you and they're going to say, I'm ready, right? And if it's not, guess what? You have a really cool friend too, which is awesome.
Yeah. And along with that, so do you guys know who Chet Holmes is or was?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Actually, Amanda Holmes was in the show a couple days back. So we love her and love him and his book and everything. Yes.
They're the best people. I read his book probably a month or two ago. And I started following Amanda. I think she's absolutely amazing. And I think Amanda said something a while back that I think Chet would have put in his books a little bit later. And he might have already, but Amanda said something. She said, if you are building up your Dream 100 and you're sending something to someone and you're expecting something in return, you did it all wrong. She said, she's like, if you did your part, that's awesome. You built a relationship. If you sent something, that's perfect. At least that they know that you're there and that you putting that appreciation towards them. So she's carrying her dad's
legacy. Yeah,
100%. I love it.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. I think that's a really cool point for people to grasp.
Yeah, I remember having a conversation with Gavin Bell. He was at the beginning stages of the show, and he was somebody that we tried to meet at Fun Hacking Live last year in person. Right, we connected, and we're like, "Hey, should we meet?" And we, for some reason, from one thing to another, we couldn't meet in person at the event. And when we launched the show, I'm like, "This is perfect. Let's invite him and chat with him." And we were having a similar conversation on your clients and who's your dream client, who do you rather work with, right? And he was like, man, I'd rather work with somebody that could have a beer at a bar any day of the week just to have a quick chat, right? Not every day of the week, right? Any day of the week, you drunk, Fonzie. No, but it's somebody that you can build that relationship with, right? So along the way, we found those people, and it's incredible because now there's no friction whatsoever, like in communication, like everything is straightforward as long as expectations are met, right? Like there's that mutual respect, but at the same time, it's somebody that I like to hang out with, and I feel like that's what you guys have been doing in Clickfunnels for so long, is finding your tribe, right? You have this ability to multiply the goodness everywhere, right? And you attract these good people. And, there's people in there in those relationships that, hey, for one reason or another, it might not work out. But guess what? If you do it consistently over time, now you end up with an incredible company that people literally like do anything to work there for it, right? That do anything to go visit the headquarters just to drive around. We're those guys that we hang out a couple months ago and they gave us the tour. Here's the Clickfunnels office. And we're like, oh, this is so cool, right? And we love it, right? And it's because that culture, right? And obviously, the materials and the principles and the frameworks and the service and the software is also very valuable. It has provided a ton to us personally. So that has to happen. But at the end of the day, right, is that relationship that we can start creating with people inside of the company, like you, right? Like, Russell, people like Josh 40, people that are involved in the community, Holly, oh my gosh, there's so many people. Yeah. So Marley, yeah, so many. We can name this for like 30 more days.
Yeah, you guys gonna name the list here.
Yeah, you can go to the Contents Profit guest list and you'll see them all there.
Yeah. Turner, man, thank you so much. This has been fantastic. I know we're running out of time here, so we have 2 quick questions to end up this incredible episode about relationships.
Yes.
Question number 1 is, what is an action point, right, for the listener, the person that is taking notes right now? How do I develop these incredible relationships like Clickfunnels do? What is an action point that they can take today, right, to take one step forward towards their goal?
As far as relationships or
relationships, correct.
Man, like I was talking about a little bit earlier, is building that Dream 100, getting yourself out there. I remember when I was primarily in the fitness space, I built up my Dream 100 even before I knew what the term was, and a lot of it was on Instagram. I just tried to make friends with anybody I could, and I built up my followers from 1,000 to 4,000, just a few months, just building up people that I was comfortable with, and I knew that, they had the same goals that I did, and it was awesome. And finding that common ground, right? And that's huge. So, and then, like I said, also, talking to them often, like they're your best friend. These relationships that you build, act like they are your best friend and they are family. Often when I have conversations, I call people brother, or whatever, because I feel like we are all family in this crazy game of life. And so, yeah. So again, build up that Dream 100, have constant contact, and find common ground.
Awesome.
I'll narrow down to 3 things.
I love it. Actually, a question just popped in my head. It's a little bit of a selfish question because it's something that it happens to me sometimes, and I feel like it might be valuable for the person that is listening right now. Turner, how do you deal when you manage to connect with someone that is, levels above you? Let's say business, in the business sense of the word, right? I'm gonna give an actual tangible example. When we had Todd Brown here in the podcast a while back, and it was an honor, and I was fangirling hardcore. I was like, oh, Mr. Todd, right? I call him Mr. Todd and everything. So how do you do to kind of like get over yourself that thought of they are all the way up there, and keep managing that relationship like if they were your best friends, at the same, while being respectful, of course? I don't know. Is it something that I just put in my head there, or I'm curious because a lot of people might want to have these relationships with very important people, and once they get contact with them, they still have them kind of like in a pedestal a little bit, right? And they have that fear of keep engaging with them.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I totally understand that. I'll tell you, it was probably a month ago. I got invited to Steven Larson's birthday party, and it was awesome. Marley reached out to me, and I was like, oh, I really want to go to this party, but I don't know if I will fit in. Like, lots of big time people going. But I was like, yes, I have to go. There's going to be such amazing people there. And I went, and I just listened to as many of these big time people as I could. Russell Brunson was there, Josh Forty, my brother, kind of cool guy. Dave was there, Chandler Woodward, the guys at Cashflow Tactics were there, and a bunch of other people. And I just listened. I talked to everybody I could. I met everybody I could, and it was just awesome. So with those types of people, I'm going to put quotes, those types of people or those awesome people, just listen, right? Because you may be able to meet them for the first time. You may have 20 seconds with them, but just listen and be as genuine as you possibly can. Because if we fanboy or fangirl out too much, it might get a little bit like, all right, you're one of those, like, okay. But if you just listen and just remember that they're like the coolest person ever, that's the best thing ever. And then another thing that I would say is just do your best to follow them on social media, encourage the heck out of them, and just, send them some DMs. Hey, it was awesome to meet you. And then after that, just tell them, if they have a birthday, happy birthday, you're awesome. Let me know how I can help. That's something as well. Offer whatever you can to help them out. I think that's something huge as well.
Yeah.
Because if you can help them out, do whatever. I think that's huge as well. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's something that I've had in the back of my head for a while. I'm like, how do you follow up with these people? And like you mentioned, it's like just be there, listen, and be consistent in being in front of them, right? And don't at the end of the day, they're normal people. And I can tell you, actually a few times already, I've heard from people that they look up to Russell, and eventually they get to meet him and they're like, wow, he's like the nicest guy on earth. He's so normal, right? But we're making all these like images in our head and scenarios in our head. So, just gotta get over it. So appreciate the feedback. Now the last question.
You mentioned that when you first started the position, you started to publish and document your day to day and showing the behind the scenes a little bit, and meeting people over. So, where will you be today? Like if you never did that, if you never published?
I don't think people would trust me as much. They would just see me as this guy that's just trying to do his job, and that's I don't know, just trying to be going through the motions and not going above and beyond. Because even on my Turner Tuesdays, you'll see my backdrop. Like, this is my house, this is my home office, and I think if I didn't let people into my life, I think it'd be kind of weird because I would just be that guy. But in my on my social media and stuff, see me like at the gym, sweating all over the stair stepper, or you'll see pictures of my freshly perfect lawn.
By the way, yes, we need to talk about that because my wife saw it and she's like, "Oh my god, I am so over this Florida grass that is like knives. We need to talk to Turner." So we have a pending conversation.
The secret's fertilizer, but you'll see tonight. I have my lawn. I'm gonna finish it. Yeah. So yeah, totally. And things like that as well. Like you'll know like my top 5 things like that Jenna Kutcher teaches, right? So. Just let people in your life. That's something like that we have to do nowadays. It's just something that's normal, is, putting things on social media.
We get to do it, right? Like it's an incredible gift to be able to share that with the people that we love, right? And we never know who we're inspiring. I used to have this massive fear of sharing because we come from Venezuela, right? And now in the States, we have wonderful opportunities that we've been very, blessed to be able to work really hard to get all this stuff, right? And to develop these relationships. And sometimes that might be intimidating, sharing with maybe somebody that might not have those opportunities. But let's flip the script, like let's change perspective. And that's what happened to me. Somebody told me that, and we might be helping somebody out there that otherwise would not be able to be helped if we don't put our message out there. So thank you so much, man, for today. It was so good. Part 2 for sure coming. We're gonna be at your event for sure, and can't wait to.
We'll cover everything about the lawn on part 2.
Yes, the secrets.
Lawn secrets.
Yes, absolutely, and I can't wait to continue to develop this relationship and continue to meet the people in the group, and it's gonna be so fun, man. Thank you again so much for including us in that incredible list that you have.
Before we leave, how can people get in contact with you, right? How can they strive to build an awesome relationship with you, Turner?
For sure. Along with that, let's meet at Funnel Hacking Live and let's get a meal. Sound good?
Yes, absolutely.
Done. We're gonna get so many pounds in that event, like so many, but it's all good. It's all good.
Gain some weight.
We'll meet at the gym. How about that?
Yes, please. Okay, that's even better. Let's do that. Yeah. I'll do a stepper with you, and then we'll do on Clickfunnels hoodies and sweat together.
There we go. Well, to answer your question, definitely follow me on social media. My Instagram is it's Turner Leslie, and then you'll find me on Facebook, first and last name. And then I also have a group called Relationship Builders. It's pretty cool. I do a show usually every Tuesday night. I just spotlight awesome people and show their superpowers. So it's pretty cool. And then also definitely become a ClickFunnels affiliate and follow us in the ClickFunnels affiliates Avengers page, and come in my world in there. You'll definitely get a bunch of laughs with Miles and I. We keep it real and just have a blast. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Love
That's
it, man.
awesome.
Yes.
You heard it. Go follow Turner. Go join the Relationship Builder group and catch the show. And of course, become a ClickFunnels affiliate.
Yeah.
And join the ClickFunnels, the Avengers group.
Yeah, we're going to leave all the links right in the description. So all you got to do is scroll down and click there, and it's going to be easy peasy. And Turner, any last thoughts before we head out?
I don't think so. If you guys are interested in ClickFunnels, these guys have their affiliate link. I'm just going to throw a shameless plug in there for them.
Yes, absolutely.
So go join under their link. Also, if you want to join the One Funnel Away Challenge, they have that link as well. And they'll tell you all about it. Get into the ClickFunnels world. If you have no idea what ClickFunnels is, just go join. Get in the world. Go YouTube it. Also, these guys will tell you about it as well. But come get to know me. I will be your best friend. We'll talk for days, and feel free to jump into my DMs. I will never be that guy that's like too cool to answer questions or whatever. I'm always here. And that's it.
Appreciate it, Turner.
Thank you so much, man. Yeah, go find out. ClickFunnels changed our life in many ways.
Yeah.
We are forever thankful for it. We can't wait to continue to develop this relationship and continue to help more people. It's an integral part of what we do every single day. So Turner, we thank you and ClickFunnels and Russell for everything that you guys have done and will continue to do. With that said, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Content is Profit podcast. Go ahead and follow the show in your favorite platform and follow us on social media at BIZBROS Co.
That is right. And if you found today's episode impactful, please don't forget to share it and leave a 5-star review. See ya.
Bye, guys.